Timestamp May 30th, 2026. It's getting closer to noon. I've been up since a little after 10. Um, yeah, come on, Hex. Thanks. I have to pay a toll or something. I went to bed a little after midnight. The Weather Channel was being real fickle regarding our garage sale possibilities. Kept floating back and forth between like 15 and 40%, which that's some wild deviation. And right now it is murky, so it looks like they were almost sort of right if you look at it sideways. I don't know. I think this is the Aldi vanilla. All three of us pretty much have been making the Aldi vanilla when we make Potts coffee because it's so good. Make no apologies. That's why I picked up 2 bags. Because we like vanilla coffee in this house. And we'd otherwise pretty much run out. Full disclosure, I do have a bag of the vanilla macadamia in the garage on the pantry shelf. And I might have made a pot of that kind of almost just for me the other day. I drank probably about, everybody else was asleep, I drank like 2/3 of it. It's like one of those weird treats for me though. And I know everybody else loves it too, but I buy that for me. You know, when you have like a Twinkie thing, where you love Twinkies and you buy the box of 8 of them, and you only wind up getting like one of them because everybody else descends upon it like locust, you know? It's usually what happens when I make a pot of that. So I'm a little selfish on that one. Because I'll wind up getting 1 cup and then, you know, it's gone. Really? I made that for me. Thanks, I got a cup. Full disclosure. So I'm going to be hitting eBay today and working around the house. I have 3 bananas that are starting to get spots over there. I know that was random, right? Here's the thing. I don't like food going bad. Exactly. Thank you, Zai. So what I think I'm going to do is, and again, I'm not sponsored in any way. This is me trying to make lemonade, basically, with some of the stuff that my parents have left here, which is insane. This is some more of the survival food. We've got 40 bags of this. It's the 4 Patriots Grammy's Sweet Oatmeal. Now that is actually, it tickles me a little bit, because that is actually what, this is a discussion that if you haven't reproduced yet, you probably will have if you have surviving parents. And if you have reproduced, you probably had this discussion with surviving parents. So my parents wanted to be grandma and grandpa. That was just how it was going to be. So when we went to Pix's mom and said, you know, we're about to spawn, what do you want to be called? You know what I mean? What is your name with your grandchildren? because Grandma was, without compromise or discussion, claimed. And she was like, that's quite okay, because I don't like the idea of being called Grandma. It's almost derogatory, you know. She's a different lady. She was like, have them call me Grammy. I'm like, that's a fine trophy to get. It's fine. Okay. So anytime I see Grammy, which isn't too often, but I see Grammy in something, you know, print, marketing-wise, it always makes me go, oh, I think she likes oatmeal. So we're going to try Grammy's sweet oatmeal, I think, later today. And I got 3 bananas, because it'll probably make a giant pot in those bags. And it'll be like a giant bowl for each one of the 3 of us. So I may only use 2 of the bananas. I may take one of the bananas and like cut it in half and then mash it, slice it, and because a half a banana is usually a pretty good add for a bowl of oatmeal, just as a life hack in case you don't know that. But you want to like cut it up into really small bits or mash it and then mix it in. Then you've got a banana oatmeal, which, yeah, throw a little bit of honey in there and you're set. And I would recommend some of the Ceylon cinnamon, especially if you have blood sugar issues, because that stuff, a little magic spice there. And it's yummy in oatmeal, so. But yeah, I'm probably going to prep one of those for 2 bowls of oatmeal for later, and the other 2 bananas are going to go into Grammy's sweet oatmeal. I'll let you know how it turns out. I'll probably take some berries. I got a bunch of frozen berries and stuff. I'll probably take some like blackberries or something like that, mash them up and throw them in there too. Can't really go wrong. Good for you in so many ways. If it has the word berry in it, whether it's, you know, rasp, alum, it's good for you. A lot of antioxidants, good for inflammation, gut health. There's a list. Look it up. So we'll be making some banana berry oatmeal with the Grammy's sweet oatmeal as a base. I can't get over that. There's like 1 or 2 other things for the 4 Patriots that are like Grammy's recipe thing, and it's like, I don't think that's true. There's also apparently a Frank there. There's like, you know, Frank's secret lasagna or something like that. It's like 2 or 3 different foods that have Frank in the title, so I'm guessing that he's a real person that helped design the recipes, but it could just be marketing. I don't know. Oh yes, we are Marvin on a roller coaster today. Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah. No notes. Ready to open. No notes. Start selling tickets. It's good. I've had some store-bought coffees before that were like, you know, Tom Hanks and caviar. The Aldi brands, or Aldi brands, really good. And honestly, even the great value ones, the Walmart generic, not bad. Not bad. Their caramel pecan is actually really damn good. Yeah. As a fallback. My coffee, somebody asked me this, they were like, Okay, what was like your college coffee? What coffee got you through college? Chock full of nuts. Used to buy the big yellow and red can, whatever. Lived on it. Yeah. And occasionally, and it tickled me that I got to play Collins because he actually has this in a song, Bustelo. Bustelo, Marlboro, Banana by the Bunch. I knew exactly what that was. Bringing my boys some coffee. Some Captain Crunch, some smokes. It's Christmas. It's Christmas, damn it. Oh, hey, check out my new boyfriend. You know. Apparently. Known him, her, an hour and a half, but she patched me up, so. And you should hear her beat. Yeah, man. So, yeah, today, here's the thing. I've got like 30 Beanie Baby lots that are ending today. Some of them are the like 14-inch, you know, one in the lot. Some of them are like 5-piece lots. Some of them are like some of the little 9-inch, 8.5-inch, whatever, small ones, singles. I got like 30 listings that are going to expire today. I don't have a bid on any of them. I don't have any watchers on any of them. Quite a few of them have gotten looks or views, as eBay calls it. So I'm really scared and curious how this is going to end. I mean, knee-jerk, if I were to look at it, emotions aside, I would say I'm going to be, because what I normally do is I'll normally list something as an auction once. Because if I've made a mistake on the pricing and set the opening bid way too low, I'm hoping that the market will correct it and they will fight their way to a much higher price, and that'll give me a better idea of, okay, I listed it at 30, it sold at 50, it apparently is worth way more than 30. You know what I mean? It gives me an idea of, okay, I have the value on this wrong. You know, and I might list the next one at 40 to make sure that I don't lose money in case I do sell it. And that's just my own tactical thinking. If an actual auction expires, like no one cares, that's when I'll change it over to like a buy it now. Where, yeah, exactly. Where, okay, I'm not gonna do an auction where people can, you know, try and outbid each other. I'm just gonna slap a price tag on it and say, great, no one wanted to fight over it at 20. I'll list it at 20. How does that do? If, again, it gets like no views, no watchers, nothing like that, that's when it's time to relist it, I'll drop the price. Or even sometimes into its listing, because usually like 30 days, it'll be up with a price tag on it for 30 days. If like 20 days into it, it still looks like no one cares, that's when I might start dropping the price and go, okay, I wanted 20, but since that has apparently made me a pariah, how's 15? Is anybody willing to buy this at $15? You know, and again, as time goes by, 15, still people are walking past the shelf, not even stopping to look. Okay, how about 10? Will somebody give me 10 for Ivory the cat? $10, anybody? No? And if it's something that's like, because Ivory the cat is like a 14-inch, she's a big kitty. You know, she's a 14-inch cat. She's wearing like a little dress. She's actually kind of cute. I think Pix actually snagged one, which, that's fine. We have 30. Um, in the same way that I have a giant frog and a platypus in the living room. Because I like plush, I'm not gonna lie. I think plush are cool. It's the perfect toy. You can snuggle with it, and in its own special way, it's kind of an action figure. Right? As you can tell. It's my army. Now this is this one tickled me. He was just too damn cute. Because my mom has more than just Ty around here. This guy had some stains on him. He's wearing my hat. I wore that in Dusk of the Dead. He had some stains on him, so I didn't even in good conscience want to sell him at like a garage sale. I know knee jerk is like Dumbo, right? You can have my hat back, it's fine. But in honor of this place and the condition, I named him Sanford. You look fine in my hat. Yes, TV reference. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, Sanford and Son, Google it. So I did keep a couple of the larger ones. So let's be clear. That is a cute frog. I like frogs. And platypus is just so ridiculous. I fell in love. You know how in a slide, in a negative, the colors are flipped? My first thought was that I was like looking at the parallel universe Perry. Because, oh yeah, we've watched some Phineas and Ferb in this house. Yeah. It's Perry from the alternate universe. That's just my thought. Yeah, all very Lazarus from the classic Star Trek series. Feel free to Google that too. So, those, I don't want to sell them for less than 10. Because that's a big plush. Like the platypus, there's 30 of them. The frog, at least 10 that I recall seeing. Yeah, there's at least 10 of those. But in going through the totes, Pix pulled, there was a whole bunch in one tote, and some other things. It wasn't just the frog, but she pulled it out because I was mostly on the ladder spotting, and she was like in the rafters initially, and then when she hit her head and called out, I went into the rafters. It's my turn in the barrel. But as we're going through them, because I'm like on the ladder, like right there perched, but the platform, like, you know, I can reach out and touch her. But I didn't, because she was hot and sweaty, and that would have been weird. Like jungle love up here. Okay, it's from Lost, the TV show. There's a moment where two characters are Two of the main characters are like in a really hot, sweaty, nasty, grimy, just disgusting environment, and they apparently woohoo. And Pix and I were both like, there is nothing sexy about what's going on right now. Both of you are just a disgusting mess right now. So, it's like, there's nothing sexy about what's happening. Smudge from the attic and stuff. It's like, baby, you're hot. I mean, we did jokingly say that kind of stuff to each other. It was just like, but we're very much joking about it because we're both like, this is gross. Anyway, complete aside. She opened up that one tote and there were like 10 of that frog, and she pulled one out and kind of held it out to me like, and I was like, yeah, give me that. She saw it and was like, I know a boy. I'm like, yeah, I want one of those. And she was the same way, man. She had a pile of kitties because they've done a lot of cats over the years. A lot of cats. But there's the reason, not all that, but some of that popped into my head. One of the other things that I've listed is Spout, who is an elephant from 1997. He's cute. And we found at least a few of those, and she was like, I'll explain the elephant thing in a minute. And I was like, no, I got Sanford. I'm good. And I think Sanford's cuter. I mean, nothing personal. Spout, you're a fine-looking elephant, but I like the one I got. So, I have an elephant thing. And it's not so much that I like elephants. It's... Oh, God, that's good. So, Rusty was a guy that we did theater with. He was dad to some of the kids in our troupe back when we had the shack open and whatnot. He was an incredibly, incredibly cool guy. He was a retired firefighter, fire marshal, fire inspector. Had a bucket of health issues because of his job for so long. Had some breathing issues, some heart issues. And he was... probably like 10 years older than me. But he was the guy that I would go to for sound counsel. He was kind of, Tim Allen's neighbor. He was the Herschel to my Rick. Very much a Herschel-Rick kind of relationship. And he was going to be our narrator when we did Rocky Horror. Because he typically didn't have to always walk with a cane, but felt much more comfortable walking with a cane, and he could do very distinguished English gentleman kind of, that kind of, I don't even know how to put it. He would have made a fine Colonel Mustard, would be a good way to put it. And he's not gruff or anything like that. He's actually one of the kindest souls I've ever known. But as an actor, because, he had done huge amounts of acting, and then he became a dad, and he became a firefighter to pay the bills, and he kind of put theater on the shelf because he had to be a responsible dad guy, which, I get it. I'm a dad, I get it, So we started doing our shenanigans. We had our shop going, we were doing theater, and a couple of his kids started getting involved with what we were doing. And someone had whispered in his ear that there were bad things going on at the shack. So he came down and was going to check things out to make sure that his kids weren't being, there was nothing bad happening, that there wasn't a bad influence going on. And he hung around for a while, and I wondered, because I'm like, he was really the old man in the room. And he told me, he's like, I was told that there were things going on and whatnot. And he's like, you're an incredibly positive influence on my kids and all these other kids. You have my full support. And now I'm questioning the people that, whispered in my ear, because they were wrong in every way. I'm like, well, number one, I didn't realize that was going on. Number two, thank you, I appreciate that. And number three, you and or they are welcome always. We are the place that is welcoming. And he's like, yeah, and that's pretty cool. It's like, 'cause I know some of the other places in town, it's not really the vibe. I'm like, well, and that's why a lot of people, it's an either or. They either feel comfortable there or they feel comfortable here. We have a lot of the outcasts and the ones that don't feel sometimes comfortable in their own skin, which is unfortunate, because that's, if you're not comfortable in your own fur, that's, work on that first. Work on that first. That's the key to everything. You need to be okay with you. You need to like yourself, and then eventually, hopefully, love yourself. Now, when I say love yourself, I'm not talking about, Paul Rubens in public kind of thing. That's different. Keep that at home. But yeah, I started learning more about Rusty's backstory. And as the months went on, Rusty was like, because we didn't just have like young people in our roster. There were people that were closer to my age. There were some college kids. It was all over the place age-wise. We were a very diverse group. But as the months went on, he was like, do you have room for an old man who misses doing theater? And I was just like, oh my God, we have so much room for an old man who misses theater. Welcome aboard. And our friendship flourished from there. So, the reason I'm a little choked up is he passed. And it still hurts. He literally died on stage. Doing what he loves. But it was a hard night. We were doing a Halloween show, and he had, according to the doctors, an aortic rupture, which basically means part of his heart burst. The paramedics worked on him for what seemed like days, and they got him to the hospital, but one of the paramedics pretty much told me that he died on the stage. He was almost dead before he hit the ground. It was all the king's horses kind of thing. So that was a rough night. I still miss the hell out of him. I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to pick up the phone and call him and ask him, what do I do? The shenanigans with my parents and whatnot. He's gone. So, happier times. So we had a joke about how no one ever wants to talk about the elephant in the room. And we wrote a couple of sketches about the elephant in the room, where we would actually have an elephant that was causing trouble, and there was, anyway, short stories long. So I promised him, and I've actually made this work, that whenever I'm doing a show, if I'm doing the set design or directing or whatnot, I would make sure that there was, especially if it was a piece that had importance, I would make sure that there was always an elephant in the room. Like when we did Rocky Horror, Brad has the whole, hunting lodge for rich weirdos. We had some, like, bizarre, artifact-y kind of stuff on a shelf in that set, and I made sure that there was, like, a stone elephant. I always sneak an elephant into sets and whatnot. So it's kind of carried over into my own brain damage. I'll call it what it is. And I try and make sure that I've always got a couple of elephants in the room. So yeah, when Sanford popped up looking through a box, a bunch of plush that just had like little brown stains and stuff, like water damage or something, I saw him and I was just like, you're my elephant in the room. You're going to be my new elephant in the room here. And I do have an elephant or two among my other toys and plush and whatnot, and of course a few scattered around my surroundings. And sometimes you won't even see them, but they're there, watching you from the corner, waiting to be discussed, because it's the elephant in the room. So yeah. It was like, I can clean this elephant. I can clean this elephant. And Pix was like, you don't want to try and sell it at the garage sale? And I held him up and I'm like, how cute is he? And she was like, yeah, let's see if we can clean him. I'm like, yeah. And I told her what I named him, and she was just like, oh, for God's sake. Sanford? I'm like, yeah. She's like, it's perfect and horrible all at the same time. I'm like, I know, right? It's so appropriate. Seriously, Google it if you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. I'll wait. Okay. You should have context right now. But yeah, I'm going to, man, I'm watching the Thai listings and I'm just like, I don't think anybody cares. Damn it. But throughout the day, I'm going to be making a big pot of oatmeal, apparently. No, it's the right thing to do. It'll fill some bellies. We can test Grammy's sweet oatmeal and see if it's good, repulsive. And I'll do what I can to breathe some extra life into it, because most of the 4Patriot stuff, it's okay. Is it amazing? With work. You know what I mean? It's like a jar of spaghetti sauce. It's okay. The key is you add stuff to it. Just use it as a base. You add stuff to it. You know what I mean? Fry up some onions and some bell peppers and some olive oil. You know what I mean? Mushrooms, if you like that sort of thing. You know, cut some of that up, fry that up, add that to your spaghetti sauce. You know what I mean? Add a can of diced tomatoes to make it a thicker tomato sauce with like some tomato chunks in it and whatnot. Add a little bit more spice to it, because they're usually kind of bland. They're bland. So the 4Patriots, some of them have had a weird aftertaste. Some of them have been fine, but we haven't been brave enough to actually do one like as is, no modifications, right out of the pack. No. Nope. I know better. So yeah, we'll add some banana, because I got it. And I know I have mango, but that, I mean, you can do mango oatmeal, I have, and it's actually pretty good, but I'm going to try and, no, I'm not feeling it. But I also know that I have some blackberries up there in the freezer, and I think I have some strawberries too. I know I have some strawberries. So I'm thinking some banana and blackberry. Mash it up, boil it in. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Probably do that here in a bit. But I'm going to be watching my eBays expire. Potentially without sales, hopefully with sales. and I'm going to be listing more as auctions and flipping these guys into buy it nows that don't sell, which is probably going to be most or all of them. And we'll see what happens. Don't worry, Ivory, Spout, I got lots more where you came from. Yeah, that's the way I feel, Tan. But I will be listing some other things too. I got a mountain of toys over here and stuff that yeah. So I'm not just going to list the tie, because I don't want to spend, a month listing something that isn't going to sell all that well. I've wasted a whole lot of time that I could be marketing some things that, I'm going to be doing both. Because I don't want to spend a huge amount of time and energy into something that's going to not produce anything. And part of it is the money, and part of it is we have 80 totes. I would like to not have 80 totes. I would like to not have 5 totes. 5 totes is too many. We want to try and liquidate this stuff. So, but I'm going to try and do it smart. Not really slowly, because of how much I have to list, but find the right pace for it and just start getting them on the shelf, as it were, so that people can look at them, sniff them, lick them, buy them. We'll see what happens. And they are cute. But, yeah. See, the idea that I don't have bids on something, that part doesn't worry me so much. The part that worries me is I don't have watchers on it. Because it's not unusual for an auction to have like 4 watchers on it that don't become bids until like an hour before it closes. And then they start bidding on it and fighting over it. But the fact that nobody has like pressed the watching it button makes me think that no one is anticipating taking a shot at it, making a bid on it. That's the part that worries me. On any watchers on any of them. That's the part that worries me the most. Because, yeah, I've had stuff with like 2 watchers, no bids, and like 10 minutes before the auction ends, suddenly they start fighting. And it's like, okay, you guys were serious. You were using the watcher thing, and I do it too, as a bookmark, basically. So you could go, okay, that one's going to end in about 10 minutes. Let me take a look at that. Okay, now we start trying to get that. Not bidding too early to make a price war happen, 3 days before it closes. Because that can be dangerous on eBay. You can spend $100 on something that you might have only had to spend $50 on because you bid on it too early and you started the price to spike up, 3 days before instead of, an hour before. It's a tactical bidding strategy thing. It's a thing. So I'm gonna start on my work, my chores. So, yep, always an elephant in the room. So, hug your parents. Don't let them buy 80 totes of Beanie Babies. Hug your kids. Don't buy 80 totes of Beanie Babies and do that to them. Begging you. Don't do it. And make it a great day.